Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how are you?
I'm good now that you're finally ready to get some work done today.
Yeah, she keeps saying I have ADD.
You definitely
I don't have
ADD.
Hey, listen to this. A recent survey found women spend $125,000 on clothing in their lifetime. Do you think that sounds right? You're a bargain hunter, so you probably
Not me.
spend half that. Physicists at 2 colleges in Massachusetts say they've developed a technique that allows them to bring particles of light to a screeching halt. Is that necessary?
I don't know. I can't imagine what they would do.
I'm not sure what they're going to do with that technology. Unless, of course, we're going to start using lightsaber technology. Whoom, whoom, whoom. You think? Huh?
Sure.
No, probably not. Hey, a guy from the United Arab Emirates set a world record for typing the numbers from 1 to 50 in the fastest time. He did it in just 16.3 seconds. I know what I'm going to be working on when we get done with this.
Again, why? I just don't understand those records. I don't get why anybody would need to do that.
Here's something that you're going to understand. How would you like to be a millionaire, people? Jeannine Glista is one of the authors of a book that I've been reading. It's a really cool book. It's called How to Turn $100 into $1 Million. It's geared towards 10 to 15-year-olds. That's probably why I like it so much. It is a great book, though. I'm serious. We'll be chatting with Jeannie later in the program. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. Today is Celebrate Teen Literature Day, so celebrate with your kids by reading a book, maybe. It's also Children with Alopecia Day. I'm not sure what alopecia is. I don't know
what that is.
Well, we're going to have to Google that. It is Dictionary Day today. Hey, don't tell me how it ends. I'm still reading the dictionary. So
Okay.
I don't want to know how that one ends. Hey, it's also Pathologist Assistant Day today. That is very specific.
That really is.
Pathologists' assistants. I don't know how many there are, but if you're one of them, today is your day. It's also International Moment of Laughter Day, and I'm hoping that we get a couple of those during the program. National Dolphin Day today as well. Have you ever had a chance to pet a dolphin?
No.
I would like to pet a dolphin.
I don't believe so.
That'd be kind of neat. National Pecan Day today. Have you ever had the chance to pet a pecan?
No, but I do love pecans.
I do, too. And it's Pan American Day today. So there you go. All of those things happening on this Thursday, the 14th day of April. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. 3 words. That's so gay. Have landed a California high school girl in the principal's office. I understand you're not supposed to say stuff like that, but listen to this story. It was Rebecca Rice's comeback when a few classmates razzed her about her faith. She's a Mormon. They were harassing her about her Mormon upbringing with questions like, so do you have 10 moms? That's when she replied, that's so gay. Now there's a lawsuit against her. The teen's parents say the high school violated her free speech rights when they came down on her for using the phrase that is common in youth culture. It is very common. You've heard that from a lot of kids. That doesn't make it right.
For years and years and years.
I'm saying that doesn't make it right, and they shouldn't say that. The school has a policy against the put-down, triggered in part from the beating of a student, a homosexual student, not too long ago. But Rice says it's stupid to believe that she was referring to anybody's sexual orientation. She said that had nothing to do with this conversation.
And if they were already attacking her faith, that's just not right.
In recent years, gay rights advocates and educators have tried teaching students that it's hurtful to use the word gay as an all-purpose term for something disagreeable. Now, when I was a kid, I used to watch this TV show called The Flintstones. Remember that? We'll have a gay old time.
Yeah.
Remember that in the theme song every week. Gay used to mean happy, people. That's what it used to mean. It's taken on a different meaning. And when she was saying that's so gay, I don't think that she had any idea that she was
I also don't think she
offending
meant
somebody.
happy, though.
No, she was just saying, that's so dumb. You shouldn't say that. And I agree. For those of you who are getting mad at me for sticking up for her, please understand, I'm not sticking up for her saying that. I'm sticking up for the fact that they were picking on her about her faith. Now, I'm not a Mormon, so I'm not doing it because I'm a Mormon. I'm doing it because they were picking on her about her faith, and then when she said something back, she's the one that got in trouble.
Yeah, that's not right.
That just kind of bothers me.
If I was her parents, I'd launch a countersuit against the kids that were picking on her against her faith.
Yeah, there should be something. That happened
First
in
of all,
California.
Political correctness in general
it's turned
is
into a major,
destroying this
major
country.
problem.
Absolutely destroying it.
We
it
all
needs
need
to go away.
We all need to be a little less hurt by words. I'm just saying, because you know what? I'm overweight. You watch TV and see how they treat fat people on TV. I'm a guy. You watch any commercial on television and look how dumb they make all of us guys look. We look like morons. Moms and kids are geniuses, but dads are morons. You know, am I going to sue anybody over it? No, I don't care. I just don't care. Anyway, you know this is true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Vallejo, California. A couple there promised to take each other for better or for worse, but the worst part came a whole lot sooner than the better part. A fight broke out at the wedding. The police had to come back for the second time, and they treated both the groom and his cousin to a toast with a taser. The bride and the groom spent their wedding nights in different jail cells after officers took this man and this woman to be their lawfully arrested inmates. He was in for resisting arrest. She was in for public intoxication. So there you go. I'll tell you right now, for those of you, as we're getting close to wedding season here, for those of you who are planning a wedding, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to drink at weddings, because I've been to weddings where there's no drinking, and those are done at like 8:15.
Yep.
So, like, well, it's 8:15. Everybody's gone now. But I will tell you this. I've also been to weddings where there's been way too much alcohol involved, and I've seen nothing but problems from that. So make sure that you have fun, but have limits as well.
One of my favorite things that I've seen online says, you don't need alcohol to have fun, but it sure helps. It's just like you don't need running shoes to run, but it sure makes things easier.
Why did I know you'd be there for that?
I love that. I mean, and I just showed you a study just today on Facebook, didn't I? Where this photographer did
photos of people after they've been drinking.
Yeah, a photo of someone before they've had anything to drink, and then after 1 glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine, and 3 glasses of wine. And it's just so cool to see how they loosened up and how they were smiling, and they were so happy. And it just made me so happy.
Now show the same photo after 10 glasses of wine. That's the problem. See, anything in moderation. We'll have to find that link and post it at Facebook.com.
We should. It was so great. It made me smile.
John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
You think you hate dealing with cell phones. You can't hate them nearly as much as Avon. In Britain, Avon did an Avon calling promotion that backfired big time. They offered free mobile phones to anyone buying over $27
I remember
worth of skin cream. They expected 60,000 takers. Instead, they got 750,000. They couldn't get enough phones. They were flooded with complaints. Now they're sending out vouchers good for a phone when the stock comes back in. An Avon spokesperson said, this has been a learning experience for us, noting that the offer did say subject to availability. So that's where some people are mad. They're going, hey, I bought your stuff. I want my phone. But they're going, yeah, we had 60,000 of them. we were off by 690,000 phones. We didn't
That's
really do
a great
the math.
buy, though.
That is. That's cool. $27 and you get a free phone?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A crossing guard in Pensacola, Florida, was very frustrated because drivers wouldn't slow down. He held up the sign that said slow. They didn't care. They just kept going. So he took a hairdryer, wrapped it with electrical tape, and started aiming it at speeders. And he said it was comical. People were slowing down, raising their hands at me apologetically. A city attorney said he couldn't find any statute that prohibited people from being pointed at with a hairdryer in a vehicle. Because there were people saying that should be illegal. He's like,
Why should that be illegal? He's not chasing him down and
you're
trying
speeding. I pointed a hairdryer at you and you slowed down. All I know is that was brilliant. Sad to report that in Natick, Massachusetts, a fight broke out at a birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese. Now, this was a couple weeks ago. I had this story, and it just kept getting thrown to the back. A fight between two mothers. Police said the mom of a 9-year-old birthday boy apparently became enraged when another woman's son was, quote, hogging the arcade game, end quote. 38-year-old Catherine Aliga and 33-year-old Tarsha Williams won't be getting any Mother of the Year awards anytime soon. They both got summoned to court to answer charges of simple assault and battery stemming from a scuffle at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Wow.
Yeah. I understand if, the kid's playing and you're going, hey, my son wants to play, you guys take turns, but do you really want to get into fisticuffs over the deal? That's not a good plan. Go easy on the cinnamon, Heidi. Advice from Denmark's food authority has raked pastry chefs whose cinnamon rolls were found to violate the European spice rules.
What?
Yeah, the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration recently discovered that Danish cinnamon rolls and twists contain more coumarin, a chemical compound in most common varieties of cinnamon, than the European Union allows. So the agency asked Danish bakers to reduce the amount of cinnamon they sprinkle in the dough for sweet treats like rolls and twists. Danish bakers protested, saying the EU limit is too strict, and it would make it hard, if not impossible, to make their cherished pastries. So the good news is that happened in Europe, and we're not the only ones with dumb laws on the books because they're all worked up over how much cinnamon they're getting. You halfway through that, you were laughing. What was that?
That's just ridiculous.
Here's the thing I want to point out. The Danish Veterinary and Food Administration.
I was laughing at that name.
What in the world?
That's funny. You think those two should be two separate organizations?
So. Danish Veterinary and Food Administration. Wait a minute. Okay, you're here to talk to me about my chicken. Which one, my pet chicken or my dinner chicken?
That's funny.
All right, a British traffic cop swooped down on Sue Butcher recently and gave her a $72 parking fine. That's a big fine for parking. What was her offense? Well, she pulled her car over to the side of the road in a no parking zone. However, she did so only for a couple of minutes in order to tend to her asthmatic 4-year-old son who had stopped breathing.
Well,
despite the explanation to the officer what was going on, he refused to back down. We're not done yet. The woman took her pleas to the city council. They refused to tear up the ticket. That is, until the case got some attention in the media. The council then scolded the officer, saying, "You were overzealous."
Wow.
Well, it takes one to know one. They were overzealous, too. When it first got to them, they could care less. It wasn't until the media said, hey, we're going to make a big deal of this. See, that officer is not voted into office. He's elected, or he's hired. These people are all elected into office. They didn't care about her at all. All they cared about was their next vote. So there you go. Hey, this is our last story. A guy in Malaysia, I'm not sure where that is, but he was speechless when he got his phone bill. $218 trillion.
Whoa!
He was ordered to pay it within 10 days or face prosecution. The man said he disconnected the phone. It was his father's phone. He passed away, and it's been disconnected in late January. And he settled the bill, which was $23. The phone company later sent him a bill for $218 trillion for calls that were made after he had disconnected it. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. Or
where on earth were they calling to get a $1 trillion bill?
The guy's dead, so maybe it was really, really, really long distance.
I suppose so.
I have no idea. Hey, anyway, I think it was just a typographical error. In the state of California, as we turn to our strange law, it is a misdemeanor there to shoot any kind of game from a moving vehicle unless the target is a whale. So you can't shoot any other animal from a moving vehicle, but you can shoot a whale from a moving vehicle. Huh. Hopefully that vehicle is a boat. If you're driving your car shooting at whales, there's a problem. All right, that's your strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. I'm excited about our guest today because this is a book that I've actually been reading. It's a cool book. It's called How to Turn $100 into $1 Million. And it's really not designed for me. It's designed for kids from ages 10 and up. So let's talk about who our guest is going to be. There are several authors on this book. They work together, but Jeannine Glista is one of the authors. Jeannie, along with her co-creators of Biz Kids, a national financial educational initiative. It's based on the Emmy award-winning TV series Biz Kids, and they also worked with Matt Fontaine, and he's a co-creator and co-executive producer of Bill Nye the Science Guy and the Biz Kids series. It's on all around the world, by the way. There's like 15 million people that watch this program. Biz Kids has been approved as a financial education recommendations resource in 16 different states, and now they've turned their attention to creating a book. And again, the book is called How to Turn $100 into $1 Million, and we have one of the authors with us right now, Jeannine Glista. Jeannie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Thanks, John. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, I'm really glad to have you on the program. And I got to tell you, thank you so much for working with the crew that put this book together. I know there were several of you, but it's an amazing book. I have a copy of it here. I've been reading it, and I wish that I would have had this when I was 10 years old.
Yes, I know. We're trying to reach 10-year-olds right now, 10 to 15-year-olds.
And the thing that's neat, I have a daughter that's 14, and I told her, I said, when I get done with this, I'm going to have you read this. And then I've got a son that's 19, so he's already a little too old for it, but I think he's still going to love it. It's a great book no matter what your age, but the book, again, is called How to Turn $100 into $1 Million, and it's an opportunity for people to learn at a young age to earn and invest and save. What was the inspiration to put this together? Why did you guys decide to reach out in that particular age group about investing and saving?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, we have a national Emmy award-winning TV series called Biz Kids, and we have done 65 episodes. And it was in our fifth season that we were talking, and we'd always wanted to do a book, but we felt like then we had just a great large body of content, and that we could do a deeper dive with the topics in a book format and reach the same target demographic, middle school kids, and maybe reach some kids that weren't accessing the TV series. And so we felt like now that was the right timing, and we just felt like, thinking through the economic collapse of 2008, 2009, if we could just empower kids with this really important financial literacy information, maybe we could avoid something like that happened in 2008, and giving people the tools that they need to become eventually financially independent. So that was the genesis of the idea.
Well, I absolutely appreciate what you guys have done here. As a father of two kids, we want our children to have a better financial future than we have. I think that's probably universal. I believe everybody wants that. And with the information you have in here, I see how you've got a kind of a roadmap and a plan laid out where if they follow this step by step, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yes. I mean, we could have enticed them to save $1 million, but, even if they save $500,000, they'd be so much better off than a lot of people today. But the key is they've got to start really young, and I think that's what kids don't realize, just because the information is not out there. But if you start saving young, and we give them some examples of how much they would need to save, eventually it can turn into $1 million through the power of compound interest. Because you don't, as you and I both know, you don't have to actually save up $1 million $1 bills, just enough that eventually compound interest kicks in and start to accumulate your savings, and your savings start to grow exponentially. But it's not magic, it's math, and you can work backwards to figure out what that means for you as a young person, how much you need to save each month.
And the cool thing is that getting that compound interest to work for you is a really good thing, but there are a lot of people that are my age, in their 40s, where that compound interest is working against them in the form of a mortgage, in the form of a bunch of credit card payments or school loan payments. So I love that, the perspective that you guys put on this, where you're saying, hey, get that to work for you instead of against you.
Yeah, we're trying to change their mindset, right? So they think, I don't need to worry about retirement till later. But if they start thinking about that now and how to live independently now, then they won't have to worry about it later. That's the flip that we're trying to achieve.
Again, visiting right now with Jeannine Glista. She is one of the authors of a book called How to Turn $100 into $1 Million. Also one of the co-creators of Biz Kids, a national financial education initiative. And I've not yet had a chance to see that, but can I find that online? Is there a place where I can actually see that online?
Yes, our website is bizkids.com. So that's bizkids.com. We have lots of video stories, video clips of young entrepreneurs on our show, and other components of the show where we explain concepts that really tie well to the book. There's free lesson plans, too, on our website that can be used either in the classroom or at home. A lot of great resources. We've got a free business plan kids can download, all kinds of activities, games that are really popular. It's a fun site, so they can check us out there too.
Is there a particular reason when you did it that you kind of geared it towards kids between like the ages of 10 and 15? And like I said, I'm in my 40s and I'm loving it too. But is there a reason why you picked that age group? Have you got information that says that's the time you need to reach them? Or
yeah, that's a great question because first of all, it matches up with our target demographic for our show, so that was certainly a consideration. But we felt like kids at that age, they were old enough to understand the concept and the value of money, but not too old that they would be too cynical, to not want to hear or understand this information. And we wanted to get to them young so that they had enough time for this power of compound interest to really kick into their savings and to really develop the savings habits early on, too. So that, when you get to the teenage years, there's just so much pressure on teens to look a certain way and be cool and fit in with the crowd. And if they can develop these really strong savings habits early on, they'll carry them through the teen years.
And I like how you have like an example of a budget that this particular student was using. So you kind of show them how that's done. And you even have forms in here where you can kind of copy this form and use this for your budget. And just a really cool tool to help them succeed as they're planning for this.
That's right. We have a couple of tools and sheets that they can use. And we also... our approach was that not every kid's going to have a phone, so we wanted to offer up suggestions on how to do like a paper-based tracker, or if they have access to a phone, there's all kinds of budgeting apps too as well. So we really tried to keep in mind that this book was meant for everybody, no matter what their socioeconomic background was. We just wanted to make this information available. And we're really thankful, too, that Workman put it at such a great price point, too. So
yeah, it is a very, very affordable at $12.95. That's something that, anybody out there that has maybe somebody that's graduating this summer, even though, again, it's geared towards 10 to 15, I think this would be an excellent graduation gift. Or if you've just got somebody that's in that 10 to 15 age that's having a birthday, a great gift. Christmas is coming up, great gift. So many wonderful ideas as far as reasons to give this. But, think about grandma and grandpa who want the best for their children or grandchildren's future. What an awesome idea this would be to give to every one of your grandchildren.
Yeah, and I think once kids start to learn how to make their own money, they feel really good about themselves, right? They start to feel independent.
Oh, yeah.
And it builds their self-esteem, and it's addictive. They start to grow in ways they wouldn't even thought possible just by having their own money, starting their own little business. I mean, my own kids, they've had all kinds of different businesses, some successful, some not so successful, but just selling eggs, they had to go and deal with customers who weren't happy because there was a cracked egg in the carton. So what do you do, right? And making change and then getting into the habit of putting all that money into a savings account. And then not to mention just the work of having to maintain the chickens so that you would have eggs every day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of learning when kids start their own business and start to get their own money. So, and it's creative. Kids think outside the box even more so than adults sometimes. It's amazing the creativity and ingenuity kids will bring to the table if they start to catch on to how to make money for themselves. So
again, visiting right now with Jeannine Glista, one of the authors of How to Turn $100 into $1 Million. One of the things that you just mentioned, you were talking about how kids are, very creative, and you were saying that your kids were selling eggs. There's a chapter here that talks about starting your own business, and doing that while you're at home living with mom and dad is such a good idea, because you don't have to worry about making rent payments. You don't have to worry about, paying your insurance and your car payments. So as a youngster, it's a great time to try some of those things. And I agree with that completely.
Yeah, it is a great time. The kids, they don't have a high overhead at all. And it's easy for them to learn from mistakes, too. There's not a lot of risk in making a mistake. And in many times they learn how to grow their business by making mistakes. If you look at any of the famous entrepreneurs out there, like Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson, they've all made all kinds of mistakes. I recently read one about Amazon. A certain business venture didn't work out, so they stopped that and went a different direction.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be ashamed of by making mistakes, and I think when you're a kid, that's the time to do it.
Jeannine, where can I find a copy of How to Turn $100 into $1 Million? Where is that available?
Amazon.com, speaking of Amazon, and Barnes & Noble. There's several independent booksellers who are going to be selling it, and Workman Publishing. And also our website, bizkids.com.
Well, Jeannine, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, John. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely. Again, our guest today has been Jeannine Glista, one of the authors of the book How to Turn $100 into $1 Million. It's a great book. I've actually, like I said, I've been reading it. I'm not quite finished, but as soon as I'm done, my young daughter is going to be reading this. And I already have a guy in the office here that said, hey, can I have that when you're done? Can I read that? Because he saw how much I've enjoyed it. So it's a great book, and I encourage you to get a copy of your own. Again, it's available at local bookstores, also available at Amazon. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The right side of the boat is called the starboard side. You know why that is?
Why?
That's where people used to stand to look at stars. Astronavigators used to stand on the plank, which was on the right side of the boat, to get an unobstructed view of the stars, which they used to navigate while they were traveling. The left side, by the way, is called the port side. That is the side that they would put when they would pull up into port. That's where they would get on and off, is always on the port side. Now you know. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
I have a question, though.
Oh, yeah?
How do you know? Which way do you have to be facing? Because if you're facing one direction, the left is on one side. If you're facing another direction, the left is on the other side.
I don't know.
Which direction do you have to be
facing? I believe if you're facing towards the front of the boat. But thank you for wasting a bunch of my fun fact time. Hey, fun fact for you. Many sweaters worn by Mr. Rogers on his TV program were knitted by his mother. That's really neat.
How sweet is that?
And our final fun fact, because somebody had a lot of questions for me today. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
3 Mile Island is only 2.5 miles long.
Oh.
Yeah. Another fun fact, 1,000 island dressing, there's not 1,000 islands in that box. I counted 950. That's all I could come up with. All right. That's going to do it for our fun facts. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know The John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show. All right, I talked to you about this the other day. I told you I found this and we were going to talk about it. What came first, the orange fruit or the color orange?
I would say the orange fruit.
So which one got its name first? You're saying the fruit?
The fruit.
All right, so the color is named after the fruit. So you were wrong. Wait, no, you were right. I tried to make you wrong. You were right. So the fruit came first. The color is named after the fruit. The English version of the word comes from Old French, but originally it comes from an Arabic word, naraj, Naranj. Since the fruit was probably native to India, the origin of the language would be there, but the exact origin has long been lost to the ages. There's another thing called the House of Orange, referring to a Dutch royal family, William and Mary of England. And the use of the term in reference to Irish politics is from a different origin. So that, believe it or not, has nothing to do with the color or the fruit. It derives from the town of Orange on the Rhone River in France, and its etymology is unrelated to the color and the fruit. So there you go. If you've ever wondered what came first, the chicken or the egg, no answer for you there. But what came fruit, the color or the fruit? Well, the fruit.
In other languages, do you suppose that their poems rhyme?
You know, they probably do in their language. Yeah, probably. So, why?
I'd like to hear it, like a poem in Chinese.
You ask some of the weirdest questions. We had some neighbors that they spoke Spanish, and their dog was barking at our dog. And Heidi said, it's like he doesn't even pay attention. She goes, well, we can't understand him. That dog speaks Spanish. I was like, I never thought of that before. She's like, well, everything they say to him would be in Spanish, so that dog speaks Spanish. Okay, well, now I know. All right, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Hey, if you're looking for a bargain, forget eBay. Check out the police department. They've got jewelry and artwork and vehicles and electronics and whatever else you might want to skip on eBay and take on over to the police station. There's a website called Property Room that auctions off unclaimed items from police department evidence rooms.
Oh, cool.
Most bids start at $1. Their first auction was held in January 2001 and has grown to where now they have items from more than 1,000 police departments. Are you writing that down?
I am writing it down. I am going there as soon as we get off the air.
It also helps out police departments because they get a piece of the action and they don't have to devote man hours to selling the stuff themselves.
That's awesome. I love that.
For those of you that didn't get to write it down when I mentioned it, it's Property Room is the name of the site, and there's a .com at the end of that. I've not been to the site. I guess now when we're done, Heidi's going to go check it out. So maybe I'll... are you going to buy handcuffs and handcuff me to a fire hydrant?
I doubt they're selling handcuffs.
Well, I don't know what they sell. Police department evidence rooms. What kind of? Well, I don't know. I don't know what it would be in there. We'll have to take a look now. Coming up, we're going to talk about Mr. America and Miss America. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This is really kind of a cool story. If you want to meet the real Mr. and Mrs. America, it's kind of strange because they're not really from America.
I didn't know there was a Mr. America.
Well, after visiting New York, a couple from Manchester, England, loved the United States of America so much, they changed their names. Their names are now Bob and Jolene America. Originally, their names were Paul and Lindsay, but they wanted to sound more like Americans, so now they're Bob and Jolene America. They love America so much, they even insist their friends call them by their new names in an American accent.
Oh.
To further Americanize themselves, they drive a white Cadillac, and they've decorated their home with American flags and pictures of Elvis, and their dream is someday to move to America.
I think that's very sweet.
That
I love that.
You were visiting America, and when you were there, you were getting ready...
I live in America.
No, I'm sorry. You were visiting England. Let's try that again. While you were there, what was it that they wanted you to hear you say in an American accent?
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. I said that to somebody when he was leaving for work, and they were like, I've always wanted to hear someone say that.
Apparently, they don't say that there.
I don't know.
Have a nice day. And the guy thought that was the coolest thing ever.
He thought that was so cool.
I was in Macedonia, and I got to record a thing for the radio. It plays on the radio there every single day because they wanted an American saying, "Good morning, Macedonia." So kind of like the "Good morning, Vietnam."
I bet it probably doesn't still play on the radio.
I don't know. It did. That was 25 years ago. So you just
back when that phrase was relevant.
I don't know. Anyway, coming up, we're going to talk about garage sales. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, do you smell that? I can smell it in the air. It's garage sale season. It's coming soon. And there's an organizing expert named Emil Barnes, and Emil has some suggestions for successful garage sales. Do you want to know what those are?
Sure.
First thing is set your date. They say Saturday is usually best. Advertise the time and the location, but don't list your phone number or you will be getting calls. If you put it there, you're going to get calls. It's true. I've done it. The next thing is make signs.
Why would you put a phone number on your garage sale?
I don't know.
listing?
But if you do, you get calls.
You've done it.
Yeah, we've done it. We had people calling us before when we did our garage sale.
We didn't put our phone number on the listing.
Oh, they just knew it was us?
They probably found looked up the address and then called us. That was when you still had home phones.
Oh, yeah. That's probably what it was. Hey, next thing, make signs. Use brightly colored papers, large print saying garage sale, date, time, address. Post it in areas using your own stakes, and remember to take them down after the sale. Ooh, that's an important one to me. That drives me bonkers. You drive around and see signs hanging around.
So worked up.
I hate that. Next, get your sale items together. Start collecting things in advance and get it all put together. Next, organize your items, just lay them out. And then the last thing is set your prices. And keep your prices low because you want to get rid of this stuff.
Otherwise you'll be packing it up.
I will tell you my worst experience ever at a garage sale is we were doing a moving sale. Do you remember this? We didn't have anything priced. I mean, nothing. We were so ill-prepared for this garage sale, it's not even funny.
It was ridiculous.
So it was kind of a, you make an offer and we're going to say yes type of thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it turned into the Wild West garage sale, and a little old man stole an accordion from me. Do you remember that?
That was a different garage sale.
That was the garage sale I was talking about. And there was a lady there that wanted the accordion, and she offered to chase him down. She said, I will track him down. What was he driving? I was like, I have no idea. I have no clue. He told me, I'll pay Heidi. And then he told Heidi, I already paid him. So and he just walked off with my accordion. And that's okay because I don't play the accordion. The story of how I came upon this accordion is a whole different story for another day. Coming up here in a bit, we've got a great story. We always try to end with good news, and we've got that on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
This is kind of a neat story. There's a North Carolina pastor that is using some interesting techniques to try to help his congregation. These techniques are things called farming. Yeah, that's not something you'd typically think about. But Pastor Richard Joyner told CNN he couldn't ignore how his congregation was dying out. He said things like diabetes and high blood pressure were taking the toll on their congregation. 30 funerals in 1 year just in his church. Joyner said he got on his knees and asked God what to do. The result was a community garden that is bringing the families together and the whole community together, and it's giving them healthy food that they did not have access to earlier. And the thing is, it's very, very affordable, and it's a way for them to have fun together. That's a neat idea.
That is a good idea.
We have never, ever really had a garden, have we? Is it because I don't like vegetables? Is that why? Because you just smiled at me like that when I said it.
We don't even mow our lawn. Who's going to weed a garden?
This is true. So maybe we just don't have time for that.
A plot full of rotting vegetables is all that would happen.
So what you guys planting back there? I don't know. Haven't been there in 4 years. So.
It smells awful.
I'm not sure what we have going on in that corner. We moved into a house one time that had a garden when we moved in, and there was all kinds of stuff in that. One of my favorite things, we had a house where we had a cherry tree. That was cool.
That was cool. I do like rhubarb. I would like to plant some
rhubarb. There we go. We could do that. And the cherry tree was
neat. And that
neat
comes back every year, and you don't have to do anything with it. So.
And that was the thing with the cherry tree. We didn't have to do anything. We'd just go out and shake the branch, and a bunch of cherries fell down on you. So that was kind of neat. Anyway, I
want a Bing cherry tree.
A Bing cherry tree?
Yeah.
What is that?
Not the Bing cherry. Cordial cherries. Those cherry cordials. The ones that you put in
Would it be in chocolate? Dipped in chocolate?
The ones that you put in cherry 7-Ups and stuff, cherry Cokes.
Marciano cherries?
Yes, thank you.
I probably said it wrong.
I want one of those cherry trees. Where do those come from?
falling off the rails here. It's
No,
time to say
seriously,
goodbye.
where do those come from?
I don't know. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Bye, Heidi.
We can Google it when we're done. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. And if you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Prosecutors hoping for a witness in an Arkansas murder case to roll over were barking up the wrong tree. They sent out a batch of subpoenas for anybody who had contact with Albert Smith while he was jailed, including 5-year-old Murphy Smith.
Aw.
That is Albert's dog.
Oh.
The defendant had written his dog a letter from his cell, and that is how the Shih Tzu got its
Wow.
name on the witness list. Prosecutors realized the mistake after the defendant's brother brought Murphy in to answer the subpoena, and a deputy would not let them into the courthouse because no dogs were allowed. He said, hey, if he's not allowed, why did you guys send me a letter saying I had to bring him here? You know?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so it was a little Shih Tzu, and he was, what was his name again?
Murphy.
Murphy Smith. Oh, Murphy.
That's Murphy's Law for you.
That was good. That was really good. Hey, if you like to say thanks, Obama, here's another reason to do so.
Ugh.
Thanks to droves of tourists in Cuba, the island nation has a beer shortage. Cafes and restaurants and gas stations are completely out of beer because there's so many Americans that are going there drinking it all. So they're probably saying, can we go back to that embargo thing where we don't work with each other? You guys are just coming here drinking our beer. Hey, here's a bizarre story. A dozen inmates had successfully escaped from Colombia's mountain prison of Calato, but they returned the next day to the front gates of the compound asking to be readmitted. After visiting family and friends, the prisoners said they had opted to take advantage of Colombia's amnesty law that forgives and forgets prison breaks if you return voluntarily within 72 hours. I didn't know there was such a thing.
I didn't know there was such a thing either. That's kind of
That's an interesting concept. I'm not saying that it's a bad idea. As a matter of fact, I'm saying maybe it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
So,
Get them
but-
come back willingly.
Problem is, you're going to encourage people to break out because they're going, I'm going to break out. I'll be back within 72 hours.
If you can break out. I mean, you have to be
Sounds like it must be
smart
easy
enough
to
to
get out of
get
this one.
out.
I don't know. Hey, when committing a robbery, the element of surprise always comes in handy. Unfortunately, that was news to Michigan's Casey Allen and David Connell. The duo went to a gas station and warned the cashier that they were coming back with guns to rob the
Oh,
place.
wow.
They even gave her a detailed plan of their crime. Those details included cutting her in for a piece of the action if you cooperate. The cashier did cooperate, but not with them. She called the police, and when the robbers returned, as promised, police made a very easy arrest.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
there you go. That probably wasn't a bright plan, guys. Again, if they were, bright people, they wouldn't be robbing places in the first place. It's going to do it for your bonus break, brought to you by Knowles Systems. Speaking of bright people, these guys are bright people. They can help you if you've got funds earning less than 6%. Yeah, talk to Knowles Systems, and maybe they can hook you up with a commercial mortgage bridge loan earning 6 to 8%. Get a hold of them today on their website at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or call toll-free 888-547-8007. Be sure to tell them John and Heidi sent you.